everybody? This is Ian Lenhart, aka Len Jones, coming at you live from San Francisco, California. I'm super excited to bring on a special guest today. If you guys follow the channel, you know that we're constantly bringing on phenomenal human beings that are basically just doing things outside their comfort zone, making moves, making differences in people's lives, and really being, pave makers and just keeping it real, doing amazing things. And one of those entrepreneurs I get to bring on today, her name is Michelle Barnes, okay? And if you guys are in the direct sales industry, you know that this woman is a very amazing human being. She's luckily been a mentor to me, been a good friend to me since day one. And I'm super stoked to bring her on and kind of pick her brain on her story, but more importantly, what people can learn from her story to help you guys in your entrepreneurial venture. So,
yay! It's working this time. Whoop, whoop.
It was so weird last night. I had no idea why that happened, but either way, all good. So I know that we've known each other, 5 years now?
Yeah, at least, right?
And we've had plenty of hilarious moments, good times, both. And I'm very grateful that you've kind of been by my side through a lot of my lows as well as my amazing highs and just in general. And I feel a very good connection to you that I don't have with a lot of humans. So I just really appreciate you. I want to say that first and foremost. Can you kind of tell people a little bit about your background in direct sales and how you first got started? I know a lot of people can relate to your story with waitressing and in that direction. So maybe you can give everyone kind of a brief background.
Yeah, totally. So, I think like a lot of us, especially, in the last, 20 years or so, the key was to go get that degree. And, that's what I was raised. I was raised to go to school, get good grades, to go to college. I was the first person in my family to go to college. And I really thought that was the key to success. So I went to CU Boulder. I went to law school out in LA for a year. And I had spent, just with those 5 years, I spent $80,000 on my education. And I found out very quickly that I did not want to be an attorney. I was interning with 3 attorneys, and they were probably the most miserable people I've ever met in my life. And, it was sad. They were making so much money, but they had no life. And, we see people like that all the time. Either like you make a lot of money and you have no life, or you make no money and you do whatever you want, And so
Sure.
For me, I wanted both. I wanted time freedom and money freedom. And I think everybody does. I mean, that's really why we go out and work for 40 plus years, is to hopefully eventually have time freedom and money freedom. But the crazy thing is most people don't have either. And I guess, in between my first year and second year of law school, it was so disheartening because here I'd spent $80,000 on my education. And I realized that I didn't want to be an attorney. And so I was like, oh my gosh, now what am I going to do? And so, like most broke college students, I was waiting tables and bartending, and I was a personal trainer at the time. And I was making more money waiting tables and bartending than I could with my degree. Which was
Isn't that crazy?
It's so crazy.
A lot more and more these days.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so, of course, I'm like, well, if I can make this much money waiting tables and bartending, but I'm only going to make this much if I go use my degree. I mean, of course, that's crazy. So, but that's when I was introduced to this business. I was 23 years old. I had no business being in business. I was broke as a joke, 80 grand in debt, had never even had a real job besides waiting tables. And that's when I was introduced to direct sales and network marketing.
That's amazing. And I think a big thing that is interesting to me is kind of the power of how you can build a part-time income in today.
Oh, yeah.
Than ever before. I mean, just the fact that we can video conference live like this on Facebook.
Gosh. Amazing.
It's just amazing. Can you kind of talk about, why you think now is the best time for someone to build a part-time income? And think about the person that has a 9-to-5 job, and maybe they love what they do, maybe they don't love what they do, but they have a 9-to-5 job, but there's this amazing time period between 6 and 10 where people cooking, where people cleaning, where people having fun and lounging, that you can build an amazing business. What tips would you recommend for people to be able to go out there and start a business?
Well, I think like you said, Ian, I mean, in today's day and age, I mean, it's so easy I mean, like with our business, I know the business I'm with today, I've been doing this for 22 years full time, and back in the day, it was way different. I mean, we didn't have anything 22 years ago. I mean, I'm totally dating myself, but we didn't have email. We didn't have laptops. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have any of those things. Literally, all you could do was pick up your landline and smile and dial. And you did meetings and hotel events and stuff like that all the time. But today, they say that someone starts a home-based business every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, somebody is starting a business like this. So why not in your company and why not in your team? And now with technology, it's been made so simple that you can literally do this business in the cracks of your life. I have people in my team that, they do stuff on their way to work. They do stuff on their lunch hour. They do stuff, on their breaks and stuff. And that's what's so fantastic about this, is that you can do that, which you couldn't do before. And so I just love it. I love the fact that you can build a business in 30 plus countries from your phone.
Absolutely. And I mean, you've been in direct sales for how long now?
22 years. Last week was my 22-year anniversary. I started when I was 4. No.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's crazy because you can literally do that part-time, however big. But I think a lot of people forget the fact that it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
And it's the instant reward that in our society, I mean, we get everything instantly. If we want food delivered to us, we get it instantly delivered. Yeah. If we want a TV show, we instantly get it. If we want success, we think we're going to instantly make it happen. How important do you think is the kind of the journey and to set expectations? Because I like the example of how your business is kind of like the airplane. Like, it takes so much fuel to get off the ground, and most people quit well before you're lifting. But once you can kind of get it going, it's a whole nother world. What's kind of been your experience with that?
Yeah, I mean, like any business, and I think that's, like, you said something magical that I want to kind of elaborate on is setting the expectation from the very beginning. And I think that's one thing that I have done really well over the last 22 years is, I'm not into the hype. Yes, I'm excited. Yes, I'm fired up. I think energy is everything and everything is energy. And I think, energy is very contagious. I always say it's caught, not taught. But the biggest thing is setting that expectation. When somebody gets started working with me in this business, I make sure that they know that this is a business, and like any successful business, it's going to take time, money, and energy to build. And you're definitely going to get out of it what you put into it. But you're going to work so hard in the beginning for so little, and that's why people get discouraged so easily, so quickly. Instead of they're not looking long term enough. And not to say they can't make money right away, because they can, but like any business, it's going to take time, money, and energy to build. And so I think when you set that expectation properly from the beginning, you're going to have people with you for the long haul.
Yeah, and I love what you say with that, because it's like the people is really what drives and makes you want to do it. Because in the beginning, you're not making cash in direct sales. I mean, that's how it is. And for people that don't understand what direct sales is, it's literally a type of business that will pay you a commission to refer a company's products to a friend of a friend, where you can earn commissions directly, to your bank account. It doesn't matter. I think our friend John Melton says if you're in Yale or in jail, you can build a business anywhere. Yeah. So it's really like for yourself, by yourself, but with everybody. And one thing that makes it, and I remember why, I personally am a huge fan of the industry, is the people aspect. Because on the journey of building your team, you're meeting so much phenomenal, amazing people. And I know that's something I've always envied about you back in a company a while back with you, is just like you love people. You love like helping people. You truly have people's intentions out there. How important do you think it is to really build the people versus building the business?
Oh my gosh. Well, I always tell people this is all network marketing or direct sales is it's a personal growth company with a pay plan attached to it. And the more you grow personally, the more money you're going to make. When I started, I was 23 and broke. What did I know about running a business? So I had to learn I had to really work on not just a skill set in this specific business, but I also had to work on a mindset. I had to really start reading the books and listening to the calls and going to the seminars to switch my mentality from that job mentality to just showing up for a paycheck, to being my own boss, you know? And when you're 23, like I was a really cool boss. It was like, hey, can I go snowboarding today? Sure. You know, so like I had to learn to be disciplined. I had to learn to be consistent. I had to learn how to control my attitude. I had to learn how to control my thoughts. You know, your thoughts are creating your reality every second of every day. So I had to learn how to be what I call the spin master and learn how to spin those negative thoughts that we have into positive thoughts. I had to learn how to spin. Yeah, to learn how to spin negative situations, because you're going to go through crap, guys, you know. I mean, and especially as an entrepreneur, you know, it's not easy, but it's so worth it, you know. But you got to get good at making the best of every situation.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to mention on there, and I love that. It's just like the power of words and how you look at things. For example, the CTO of the startup that I work with is he has this gift where every single time he runs into a problem, he doesn't use the word problem.
Never.
He always just uses it as a challenge. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a fun challenge. Oh, that's a challenge. Oh, it's a challenge.
Absolutely.
And it's just like that simple change of verbatim has just vastly improved his productivity. But this is something I'm really interested about because, you know, I bring out a lot of different like founders of startups, which is more of a traditional business with a lot of stress involved, but different type of stress because there's, you know, working for yourself. Every business has its ups and downs. But, you know, in direct sales, you're not hiring someone and paying them a salary up front. It's not like someone walks in and they're getting $20 an hour, $50 an hour, $60,000 a year with benefits or not. You know, you're literally building a volunteer army, which is so interesting to me, and why I'm still stoked about it since when I first got involved when I was 20, is because like you look for different attributes in people. You know that not anyone could become, you know, a Michelle Barnes or just someone that, you know, changes their life. What do you think you look for in people when you kind of look for successful traits, if that makes sense?
You know, I love people who are hungry. I love people who, you know, I always say that I didn't have a lot going for me when I was 23, but I had a couple things going for me. And one was that I had a desire. You know, like I had a desire for something more. Like I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of being broke. I was tired of money always dictating all my choices. And, you know, I thought that there's got to be more, you know, and you see the nice cars and the nice homes, and you see people traveling the world and all of this stuff. And so it's like, why not you? You know, but you've got to have that burning desire. You know, it's the first chapter in the book, Think and Grow Rich. And that's a book that I read every single day. I read at least a page or two every day. But that's the first chapter, because you've got to have that burning desire for more, because that's the only thing that's going to get you up early and keep you going and get you to stay up late and go through the hard times. But you also got to be coachable. You know, I look for someone who is super coachable. I was coachable. You know, when they said go left, I went left, and call it naive, call it stupid, call it smart, whatever. I made 102,000 my first year by doing exactly what the successful people were doing.
And again, 102 grand your first year.
102,000 my first year. You know, and you know, so of course I was 23. I thought I was like the richest person on the planet. I was like, but you know, but for me, it's like, you got to be coachable, and look at what successful people are doing and do it. You know, it's like when you see somebody who's really fit and in shape, look at the foods they're eating, look at the choices they're making, and just do what they do, and you'll get what they've got. I never made a science project out of this, you know, and then I was willing to work. That's the third thing. So the desire, someone who's coachable, and then someone who's willing to work. You know, I've always had a strong work ethic. I was never afraid of hard work. If anything, I was working too hard. I was working 3 jobs and still broke, which is pathetic. You know, if you're going to work hard, why not work hard building something for yourself instead of building something for someone else?
See, I think that's like, when you say it like that, it makes so much sense. But then for a lot of people, I mean, when you're putting on the factors of life and like, you know, having 2 kids or, you know, making food, all the groceries, all the responsibilities of being a mom. Like me, I have no responsibilities. I'm 25, living in San, you know, I'm
I remember those days
like,
again.
For someone that's in there, first of all, y'all look 20. You look like 22 still, so you're crushing it.
Oh,
real
stop
Wonder
it some
Woman,
more.
to be real. I think the most important thing, even for me, when I was, you know, 20 years old, was creating that first vision, like seeing it for the first time, realizing that this is something that's actually possible. First of all, can you hear me still?
Mhm.
Am I lagging?
Yeah. Yep. I can you hear
You can
me?
hear me? All right, cool. Yeah.
You're
How?
you're freezing a
Yeah,
little bit,
perfect.
but
Cool. Yeah, we should be good too. Let me know if I freeze on you guys. But how important do you think that initial
okay.
vision is in terms of lighting your fire to really get off the ground and make moves? Because I feel like a lot of people in any type of business, they overthink everything. Like we overthink everything we do.
Mhm.
But if you can just get up, stop thinking, just go to work and just start taking action, how important do you think it is to really develop that vision, and what would you recommend to someone to find that vision?
Well, you gotta want more out of life, because this business it's not easy, but it's very simple. And so one thing that I did was I was willing to just do the work every day consistently enough that like if you do anything every day, day in, day out, I hope to God you get better at it. Oh my gosh, 22 years, like you're so good at this, but it's like 22 years. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, I hope to God I'm better at it after 22 years. It's like, but most people give it 22 days or 22 hours or, and they're just not consistent in their actions. And, again, it's just like anything in life. If you want success in any aspect of your life, it comes down to making a decision, number one, that you're going to do it until, and you're going to keep going and keep doing the things that, like I call income producing activities in our business, to move your business forward. But same thing with your life, same thing with your finances, same thing with your health and fitness goals, same thing with your relationships. And, it takes that consistent effort to see anything move forward.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Is there any like specific book that you read in your life that was like incredible that you'd recommend to anybody?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's just so many. If somebody was getting ready to go down the entrepreneur path, I always like to recommend Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's an old school one, but it's really good in getting you to change your mindset from that employee mindset that we're programmed. I mean, we're literally programmed to be attorney or to be employees, and we're programmed to go work for 40 plus years for someone else. And so that programming, you really have to shift your mindset. And so I think that Rich Dad Poor Dad's amazing. Obviously, I love Think and Grow Rich. I love You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. I love The 10 Times Rule by Grant Cardone. I love Be Obsessed or Be Average. I mean, there's just so many. If I showed you my office right now, you'd be like, seriously, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full bookshelves. I'm psychotic. I read about a book a week. So.
That's impressive. That's like truly impressive that you're that detailed and you can stay consistent with that, with everything going on in your life. One thing you just got me so jacked up about is just like in general with the direct sales, because for anyone that doesn't know, when I first got involved with direct sales, that was the first time I mean, besides like selling candy from my locker or like running a fish tank cleaning business in high school and stuff like that, it was the first time I really got surrounded by entrepreneurship. One reason why I always recommend people for direct sales to always be involved and always have an open mind is I think it's something that's for the first time in your life, you're able to get free mentorship. You're able to start your own business for literally less than like sometimes for free, essentially. And you're able to build it as big as you want. So it's literally just giving you a blueprint for success and running with it. Which, without direct sales network marketing, I would have never gotten involved in the startup game, which I'm so passionate about now. And it's just super cool where it can all kind of trend. And I think networking is such an important aspect. And that's something you're really good at. I mean, if I talk to anybody in this industry, they know who Michelle Barnes is. How important do you think networking is in general in just building a business?
Oh my gosh, it's everything, like I always say friends first. And, for me, like I am obsessed with meeting people and learning more about them and And I love asking questions. We always use form, family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Like you can find out so much about someone just by asking very simple questions like, you know, do you have kids? How old are they? You can, and you see where people light up, you know? And I love taking those areas where somebody just lights up when they start talking about their kids or when they start talking about their business, you know, or what they love to do for fun. Like if they love skydiving or, you know, they love hiking or they love yoga or whatever, you can find out so much about someone if you're willing to listen and if you're willing to like really take a sincere interest in who that person is. And then you know how to help them, you know? I mean, a lot of times I'm just a big friends first type of person. And sometimes like I don't end up ever in business with people that I meet. But maybe they introduce me to someone or I introduce them to someone or I connect them to someone. I mean, my friends call me the Yellow Pages because some of you probably don't even know what the hell that is because now we got the Google. But you know, before you used to, if you wanted a plumber, if you wanted an electrician, you had to go to the Yellow Pages and look it up. And so my friends are always like, oh, call my friend Michelle. She's like the Yellow Pages. She knows someone for everything. But I like being a connector. And I think being connected is so important. And that's really, that's the heart of networking is that connection with other people.
A big barrier to entry, and I love every time you talk, I'm so excited. But sales. A lot of people say I'm not a salesperson. You know, they say, "Oh, I can't do what you do." They look at you, and they're like, "Damn, I'm like, I can't play that game." Like, "Oh, well, look at her. She's so good at talking. She knows what she's doing. She's quick on the thing." Like, I can't do that. I can't become you. What's your opinion on when someone says, hey, I am not in sales. I'm not a salesman, sales girl. I can't do this.
That's so funny because I said that. I almost walked out of my first meeting, guys. 22 years ago, I walked into this meeting and I thought it was like a job interview and there were products in the corner and I literally almost turned around and walked out because instantly I was like, oh my God, they want me to do sales. And I was scared to death of sales because of my perception of sales. It really wasn't sales because I didn't really know that much about sales, but it was more my perception that you have to like, you know, be sleazy or cheesy or, you know, like a car salesman with our shirt buttoned down with the hair coming out and gold necklaces. And, you know, like that was my perception. Or I thought that you had to like convince people to do something. And that's so not true. You know, now I'm like, get good at sales because everything we do in our entire life is sales. I mean, my 6 and 9-year-olds, they're the best salesmen in the world. You should see them try to sell me on staying up later every night or, you know, having snacks right before bedtime. I mean, like if we paid attention to our kids, like they're the best salespeople ever. But you're in sales. If you're married, you're definitely in sales. You sold someone big time. So we're always in sales, but sales to me, like I mean, I don't really like when people are like, oh, it's not selling, it's sharing. Okay, yeah. But let's be real, it's sales. And the better you get at, you know, at giving people, I look at sales as finding a need and filling it. You know, if you find a need and you fill it, that's really what sales is all about, is helping people get what they want.
That's amazing, phenomenal. And one thing that I said in the beginning is how, you know, you've been a mentor to me. And it's interesting that word mentorship, because I think it's used too much without people really understanding what it means. Mm-hmm. What's beautiful about today's day and age is that you can literally have someone who, you know, maybe passed away 100 years ago still be a mentor to you.
Absolutely.
By listening to reading their words, by like, you know, listening to a CD all in and day out. Were you like, obviously, you know, you crushed it in the beginning, like of your career, which is very rare, because most people don't come out fire blazing. But do you think that you attest a lot of that to the mentorship that you got at the time?
Oh, absolutely. You know, like became so obsessed with personal development. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I don't think there's been one day in 22 years that I haven't done personal development. And if there's a day that I don't necessarily feel like it, I know I need it even more that day. And so I make a decision to do it. And that's one thing that, I mean, I can tell you that's the reason I've been able to do so well and to make millions in this profession is because I work on myself more than anything at all. And in every area of my life, I want to be the best. Like I want to be a great mom. I want to be a great leader. I want to be a great friend. So in order to do that, you have to study and you have to increase your skill set in every area of your life to get better. So you need to be constantly increasing your skill set. You need to constantly be increasing your mindset. And those two things are so critical. So yeah, I'm psychotic. Like I said, I read about a book a week. I listen, even when I take a shower, I take my phone in the shower with me. So I've showered with all the greats. I've showered with Bob Proctor, with Anthony Robbins, Gary
You got a
Vaynerchuk.
waterproof case?
What's that?
You got a waterproof case?
No, I just stick it on the shower rack.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, I put a YouTube video on. Like I'll just whoever I'm in the mood for, I go to YouTube, I put them in there, and I just stick it on the shower rack, and I just listen to it while I'm showering. I listen to it while I'm doing my makeup. Like I just every chance I get, I'm doing that personal development because you never know what one thing said is gonna like make you a better human being, and make you a better
Yeah.
mom, and make you a better business builder, and make you a better leader, and make you a better friend, make you a better person.
That's so cool how you say that because it's like you can literally turn any environment you're in into your own virtual office. Like anywhere you go, like if you're driving, if you have an hour commute to and from work, don't dread it. Like thank
No
it
way.
because now you can just
Yeah.
you can bubble yourself in with one of your favorite people, just whispering in your ear all these
Yeah.
powerful, creative words, and which essentially is what your inner circle and mentorship does. Is they tell
Yeah.
you can do it. I think that's like the heart. I think that's the number one reason why people fail is because they just don't believe in themselves, and I think
sure.
you would agree.
At
And like
1,000,000%.
direct sales is great because you're able to just get in with a group of people that are just gonna like just shower you with happiness and good vibes and good thoughts and all that stuff. Here's a funny question. People say this thing, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And then like when you hear it, it's like quickly like dude, like nah, like that doesn't exist. Like you can't just do what you love and be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do what I love, but like yeah. I need to pay the bills and make love. Is it truly possible to make money doing what you love?
1,000,000%. I believe that 1,000,000% because if you're passionate about something, like I tell my kids this all the time, I'm like, I don't care what you do, but you better make sure that you are so passionate about it that you love it so much. And a great example, my kids are obsessed with Minecraft, and there's, my 9-year-old watches this guy, this YouTube phenomenon, Dan TDM, on YouTube all the time. And the guy has like, 19 million, subscribers on YouTube. And he's a kid that plays video games. And so here's this guy that took something he was obsessed with, something that he was passionate about, and now he makes millions of dollars. I took my kids to go see him as a surprise for my 9-year-old's birthday, $75 a ticket, and there were over 2,000 people in this auditorium watching this kid play freaking video games on this big screen. It's the most ridiculous crap I've ever seen, but more power to him. How freaking awesome is that, right? And Bob Proctor is a dear friend and mentor to me, and he talks about. I was just watching a video today that he was doing where he talks about how anything that you're passionate about, anything that you love, you can make millions of dollars with it. You just got to find a way to turn it into a business and turn it into an enterprise.
That's amazing. Well freaking said. Do you ever get down like after
No.
22 years, do you ever have days where you just break down, you start bawling your eyes out, you're like, what's going on? Like
Yeah.
even at your level with that much personal development, it's okay to still have bad days.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, there are certain days where literally, like, my sister works for me. She's my full-time, like, nanny / assistant / CEO of my life. And there are days where I'm just like, oh my God, I am such a crabby wench right now. Like, I should not talk to anyone. Like, I'm just in a freaking bad mood. And you know what? The beauty of my business is that I don't have to talk to anyone if I'm having a day like that, And so, and it's probably better if I don't when I'm having a day like that. So on a day like that, like I'll go to yoga and I'll go work out and I'll go run errands and, I'll do things where I don't have to be so on, because I mean, I'm around people all the time and I'm talking to people all the time. And normally 99.9% of the time, like I'm obsessed with it. I love it. But there are certain times where I have to unplug and I just need some like Michelle time, and that's another thing too, is recognizing that that's okay and not feeling guilty and not feeling bad. Like, especially as moms, we have so much mommy guilt, it's like, if I'm not working, and then if I'm doing my business, I'm not with my kids. If I'm with my kids, I'm not doing my business. And it's like, that's crazy, and you got to let go of that crap. And believe me, I'm still working on it all the time. But you got to take care of you first so that you can be the best you for your kids, for your team, for your family, for your friends.
Cool. So well said. Amazing. A lot of people don't really understand, what the day-to-day looks like for someone in your shoes, someone that has, basically achieved, what many would achieve, kind of like a dream scenario or dream life that, it's taken you years to build. I mean, years.
Yeah.
So I love it because I know if I walk left foot, right foot, I'm going to be there. So I'm pumped. Like, I'm enjoying the ride, So if you're on the right path, you should be super stoked every single day, even if you're not in a car, house, or people you want, because if you're getting there, then enjoy the journey. It's like when I moved West Coast, I had a smile from ear to ear, even when I did like the 14-hour drive through Kansas, which was miserable. Because you know what's gonna happen. Does anyone relate with that? Drop a 1 in the comments if you can relate with just the feeling of knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
I guess the big thing what I was trying to get at is just like knowing where you're going is so important. And if you get off track, it's okay. It's normal. And that's what people like Michelle, and hopefully I am someone like of that to someone else. That's what I strive to be, assembling that tribe of people. Do you have any insight and any advice? We'll kind of wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Do you have any advice for someone that is maybe just thinking about, potentially just dipping their toes into a part-time business, where they would turn, or anything that you would recommend for someone that, maybe is on the fence about starting their own business?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling a gal this morning, like, if you're right on the fence of being nervous and excited, that's where you want to be, and I say grab on to someone who has the results you want, and just do what they say to do. Like, don't make a science project out of it. Don't complicate it, but you've got to be consistent. And, it's doing the things every single day that kind of seem so small or so monotonous. But I'm telling you, those things compounded over time are going to create massive success. And so find a mentor, find somebody who has success in this business, find products that you believe in, that you're passionate about, and just make sure that you've got some strong leadership. Make sure that you have, I think that it really doesn't matter what company. For me, I can't ever sell anything I don't believe in. But as far as like, this is my 5th company that I've built up to a strong 6-figure income. And I've always, each company that I've been with, I absolutely 1,000,000% believed in the products. So that part was very easy for me. But you also got to make sure that the leadership is on point. You got to make sure that there's a system in place. Systems are everything. Like, I'm a psychosystem person. Because people, I'm not duplicatable. I've been doing this for 22 years, but systems are duplicatable. And so that is absolutely.
You could be duplicatable, if, like, we figure out, some high chronogenically freezing people, but until then, not yet. But that was
if you can figure that out.
Last questions.
Yeah.
Potentially. But the other question is the hardest part for people that are building their own business is the organization that goes in with it. I mean, a lot of people take it for granted when they work a job, because they're being told what to do. Like, you have to do this task from this time to this time. You have to be on this call at this time. But, when you are an entrepreneur, when you are building your own business, it's on you. So, like, you got to keep running the ship, even if you are happy or not. There's no sick days. At the same time, you got to be consistent. And you are so good at it. I don't know how. You've always been so good at it. You're always on a weekly team call. You're always there, like, for the most part, to help people out. How do you stay organized?
I was a disaster when I first started in the business because, my personality type, like, I'm definitely very driven and motivated. But I'm also like all over the place. Like I'm so ADD and I'm a total spaz and I like to have a good time. And if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it. And so that's one of the suggestions is, like I'm organized in a very disorganized fashion. Like I have systems in place now that work for me, and it's kind of old school for a lot of other people. But for me, it's like, if it's not broken, why fix it? Like sitting in front of me, like I have a journal right here. I have my list, I have this week at a glance day planner that like is like my right arm. It's like an appendage, like I don't go anywhere without my day planner. I don't go anywhere without my journal, to take notes in or to look things up or to look at my list of contacts. So like I've created systems that work for me over the years. And a lot of it, like I said, is just, leaders do what they don't necessarily feel like doing. Okay. You're not going to always feel like making phone calls or sending messages or training a new person or getting on a live or or going live or what. You're not going to always feel like it. And guess what? Too bad. Like if you want to be successful, leaders do the things they don't want to do, and they do it long enough so they don't have to do it anymore. And by the time it gets to that point, they're so damn good at it and it's so much fun and they're making so much money that they just do it anyway.
That's amazing. Yeah, and how you just described that is exactly the profile of the best leaders I know in direct sales. Like they're always so consistent. And one thing that I've seen that some of the best people do, and I know you're really, really good at, is never burning a bridge. No. What is your opinion on that phrase?
You know what? For me, like, I just really believe that you just never know what's going to happen, and I mean, I love, like at my kids' school, they have one rule and it's to be kind. And, I try to keep that philosophy like at the forefront of everything I do, is just be kind. It's not that hard, and are you going to screw up sometimes? Sure. That's, and that's where you're human. We're all human. And that's where you apologize and, and you be a bigger person and stuff like that. But, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just for me, like if my number one rule is friends first, then that's really what it is. And so many people have thought once they weren't in my business that I wasn't going to be friends with them. And I always thought that was so weird, and a lot of times in our business, when people stop doing what they should be doing, they're the ones that actually pull away from us. Like my famous saying is, I'm still here because I'm still here and I'm still the exact same person that I've been for 22 years. And I'm still doing the exact same things on a daily basis that I've done for 22 years. So a lot of times I don't change, but sometimes people in our business, when they stop doing the things that they know they should be doing, they feel stupid. So they pull away, and that sucks, because I'm like, hey, you forgot the rule, friends first, And so, I mean, I have friends that I've known for 22 years and they're not in my business today, but I met them because of this profession and they're still some of my best friends. And I love that.
Yeah, you can't fake it. I mean, you're so good. Like if anyone's watching this live, I mean, you can see how Michelle talks and how she acts, and which is another reason why I love live video, because you can't fake it. If someone can instantly smell if you're, BSing them. They can smell if you're real or not, if you care about them, and you're really good at showing that and putting that step forward, which is, how you've built what you've built. And I know you're just getting started and you have big goals. I hear them all the time, and it's amazing. So, hey guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in right now. I mean, Michelle's amazing. I really highly recommend any of the entrepreneurs that are watching this to definitely reach out to Michelle. She's unbelievable. She's, coached me for a while, been a mentor, been more of a homie too. But definitely connect if you guys ever see each other working together in any single way. Michelle, do you have any last second thing you'd want to say for everyone on this, on just overall the journey?
Just that I love the shit out of you. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that on Facebook Live, but I do, you know, like you just have always been one of those humans that like, when I say energy is contagious, you know, yours is so contagious. And I don't know a single person who's ever met you that doesn't love being around you, Ian. And so I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing with these Facebook Lives. And, you know, you have always had a special place in my heart. You always will. And, you know, I just love the crap out of you.
All right, well, you're amazing. I'm gonna send you a letter after this go. Okay. And so for everyone that's jumped on, really appreciate you. You guys are watching the replay. Let us know by dropping some hilarious emoji to make me laugh. And then if you guys have any questions, definitely drop them in the comments. We'll get those answered. If you guys found some value out of this, give it a share. And with that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got another exciting person coming on tomorrow. Tune into YouTube for the new Len Jones Live YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? It's live, Michelle.
I love
it's
it.
live as hell, okay? But with that said, guys, thank you so much. Keep it real. Take care and have a phenomenal rest of your day.
Love you, my friend.